Hello, friends. Let me introduce you to myself. I am Dr. Talib Al-Khair. I am the founder and CEO of BrainBridge Solutions, which is a company that uses machine learning in conflict resolution, conflict forecasting, and market intelligence, basically business intelligence. Now, it's a startup. The sky is the limit for this startup. I have big ideas and big hopes for it. It hasn't been exactly easy, so maybe I can share that with you in later videos. But what I wanted to talk about today is the use of AI in business and what most business people get wrong about it. And I feel that I can talk about that with you because I myself am not a technical person. So to put that in perspective, I did law in my bachelor's. I went to Damascus Law School in Syria, and then I did a master's in management and a master's in peace and conflict studies at the University of St. Andrews. And then I did a PhD at the University of Bath in political science. So that's in terms of education. In terms of work, I worked for law firms in London for a couple of years. So I was very far removed from AI and from such like a technical subject of matter. What happened is that during my PhD, I was basically doing a PhD in analyzing and studying extremist rhetoric, more specifically Al-Qaeda. So Al-Qaeda in Iraq. So I was studying that. I was studying the rhetoric of their leader to see how did that specific leader formulate his rhetoric in order to gain traction, to gain support, to gain momentum, to bring in more people, more soldiers. That was basically the idea. So I did a couple of papers on that, doing it the old-fashioned way. And then a friend of mine suggested that we could use machine learning. And this good friend of mine, he was doing a PhD in statistics at the University of Göttingen in Germany. And I thought, well, I was very curious about that. So, and I've always loved technology, and I've always loved to be close to the cutting edge of technology. At least being knowledgeable of it. So I discussed that with him. I did some research. I asked him to send me a couple of samples to see how that can be done. And long story short, I ended up analyzing the rhetoric of ISIS using machine learning. But this time, because I could do it with machine learning, and instead of analyzing 50, 100, 200 pages, okay, we analyzed thousands. We analyzed almost 300 complete issues of ISIS newsletter. It was called Al-Naba. So that's how it started. And the results were amazing. We proved somewhat academically that we can link that analysis of rhetoric using machine learning. We can link it to ISIS attacks on the ground. So that was basically the idea. That was basically what started. I can make a video on this later, but basically this is how I ended up using AI. Okay, so the question is, if I could do that, somebody who comes from law management and political science, if I could use AI to do something as significant as studying thousands of pages of ISIS rhetoric using machine learning and trying to come up with a terrorist attack prediction model, okay, if I could do that, then I think most people can do it. Most businesses can do it. So this is the topic of today. The topic is, what are the things that I think businesses are missing about using AI? And ever since I've started my company, which uses AI, and it's been almost a year and a half, 2 years since I started the company, so I've been learning a lot about that. So that's why I think there are so many things that business people are missing. And this is basically the topic of today. Okay. So one of the biggest problems in adopting AI, I think, is that it seems that there's a huge percentage of people. There are basically people come into kind of two categories. The vast majority of people, they come into two categories. And these categories are as such. The first one, which is the biggest one, is the people who barely know what ChatGPT is, right? And they barely know how to use it, if they even use it at all. Okay, like I've been told by by a manager of a big organization, I've been told personally that there's nothing you can do on ChatGPT that you cannot do on Google. Okay, so this is an example. And then the other section, a smaller one, is the people who think that AI is not for their business. AI is just for big multinational companies like ChatGPT, like OpenAI, or like Google. Okay, so you have these two people who either have never heard of AI or think it's useless, or you have the people who think that AI is not for them because you need billions of dollars. You need to be Sam Altman, or you need to be Google or Microsoft in order to invest in AI. And that's where I think the vast majority of people lie. And this is what I think is the biggest mistake. So for businesses, whether small, medium, or large, the way you can use AI and use it for your advantage can differ. So, for example, there's a technology called social listening that big brands use. So basically, they go to, the dogs are making a mess. This is the thing about the Peru, like Latin America in general. I'm right now in Peru. And the problem with Latin America, everywhere I go, there's so many stupid dogs. Just barking all night. I've had the same problem in Colombia, in Mexico, and in Peru. Everywhere I go, they have a problem with dogs everywhere, just barking. Anyway, so there's something called social listening that big brands use, which is basically they track what people are talking about them on social media using these big companies. There's a company called YouListen, I think, something like this. And for these companies, they can afford to have a team and they can afford to pay for these platforms, the social listening platforms. So you need like budgets of tens of thousands of dollars every year just to do that. So that's for like medium to big to large scale companies. Small scale companies, for them, it seems that they are the majority, like SMEs, they are the majority of businesses. It seems that they're still very far removed from using AI in their business. And it seems that nobody is thinking about this. Nobody is providing any kind of solution or any kind of advice as to how you can use AI in your business. If you're a barber, if you run a local gym, if you have a small grocery store, if you run, if you run a taxi, something like this. So these sections of the economy that can benefit most from AI have been really far removed from using AI. And what most people don't realize is that there's something called the electricity metaphor. When the electricity started, it was only used for light. And now look at it. Because of electricity, we have gone to outer space. We have conquered 99% of diseases. We're now making AI. We have all these supercomputers in our pockets. So that invention 100 years ago that most people were skeptical about now has completely changed our lives. And I think it's going to be the same with AI, only I think it's even bigger. So what I find it really fascinating is that the vast majority of people have no idea that this is something revolutionary that's gonna change the world and change businesses forever. So my question to you today is, if you have a business, or if you're an individual who think you might be able to use AI in some kind of a business idea, right? How do you think AI can help you? What kinds of problems do you have in your business that you think can be solved with AI? Or to what extent do you think AI can help you minimize costs, or get you more customers, or help you get feedback from the customers or from the market? Get yourself some kind of market intelligence. How to maybe help you with your production line, if you have a production line, any kinds of questions that you think AI can help you with. So here's a question to you that I would like you to put in the comments below, because my idea is that I would like to hear feedback from people, especially small to medium size businesses. I would like to get their ideas as to how they think AI can help them, or the kinds of problems that they're facing that AI may be able to help them with. And if you put that in the comments below, I'd be happy to check them out, and then maybe I can do a video on that, or maybe I can show you using the technologies that we have developed in my company. We can maybe make a case study for you, and then I can publish it here on YouTube for you and for the others to learn. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. I wish I get more engagement. And again, if you have any questions, any thoughts, put them in the comments below, and I will try to help as many people as possible and to reply to as many comments as possible. Thank you very much.